As always happens, we have a satisfying conclusion. So the end of the Sea Devils, in more ways than one, the end of our presentation. But we'll be back next week, and I have news for you about almost an entire week of Doctor Who programs next week, not starting this week. I'll tell you about that in a minute. First, those of you who have not yet taken the opportunity to subscribe to Channel 11 who are Doctor Who viewers, and many of you have, you've always been really forthcoming in your response. But if you haven't and you'd like to do it tonight, we'd like to have you become a subscriber to Channel 11. You do it by calling us at our toll-free number. There are operators there all the time during this entire subscription drive at 1-800-237-1100. 1-800-237-1100. And we'd like you to subscribe in the largest amount that you can. I know that we have a lot of college students who watch this program on a regular basis, and most college students don't have too much spending money. If $5 or $10 is all you have handy to subscribe, that'd be fine. And you'll be pleased and you'll be happy to feel a part of the sponsors, the subscribers, the underwriters of Channel 11. If you can afford $35, of course, you'll receive the Dial magazine for 12 months. And it's this magazine that I use as a reference not only at home when it's mailed to me, but also here, right now, because I'm going to be telling you what's coming up on Doctor Who based on the listings in the Dial magazine. But before I go to that, let me go on a little further and tell you that if you can subscribe with $50, you'll receive 12 issues of Chicago magazine as well, and that's not all. A $50 subscription in the past has brought you this Doctor Who record. I'm sure you're familiar with it, with pictures of the 5 doctors on it, and sound effects and music from various of the Doctor Who programs. That's still a $50 premium, but you'll get both magazines as well. 12 issues of Chicago, 12 issues of the Dial with your $50 subscription. Quite a good offer, I think, and I hope you agree with me. And if you do, call us at 372-1200 to subscribe. And we have the 2-record collector's edition set, the Doctor Who set, which contains a complete radio version of Genesis of the Daleks and another LP that's filled with Doctor Who sound effects. That's a $75 premium. That will bring you both magazines as well. Another good deal, we think. Now, if $75 or $50 is a lot of money to you, and you have a charge card, you can spread out your payments that way, because you can use your charge card. You can use your MasterCard, you can use Visa, you can use American Express. And when you call 1-800-237-1100, have your card with you, and give the operator who answers the number of your card and its expiration date and your name and address. It'll take just 30 seconds to a minute to do all of that. And in that way, you'll become a subscriber immediately, and we'll be able to get these premiums out to you. You tell them what premiums you'd like to have, if any. You can also use check or money order, of course, and we have a plan called 11 checks. We'll mail all this information out to you, and you can look it over at your convenience. But if you really know what you want to do tonight, if you know what premiums you want, and if you have a charge card and you'd like to do it that way, we'd be delighted. You have to take the first step, though, by calling us at 1-800-237-1100. Now, what's coming up on Doctor Who? As promised, and reading directly from the Dial magazine. Next Sunday night, that is the 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day, of course, we have The Mutants Part 1. And then on Monday night, the 18th, The Mutants Part 2. So you're not going to have to wait a week between the 2 sections, as is usual when we have those long programs. Then on Tuesday night, the 18th, The Time Monster Part 1. Wednesday night, the 19th, The Time Monster Part 2. And on Thursday nights, The 3 Doctors. That hasn't been seen in some time on this station. So next week, we are going to have 5 Doctor Who nights in a row, beginning on the 17th and going on for the next 5 nights. I had a letter from a young woman in Kalamazoo who said, we're in the Eastern time zone here, and it's an hour later, and you're really keeping me up late. She says, I could stand it 1 night a week, but 5 nights is pretty tough. Nevertheless, I managed to do it, and I hope you'll manage to do it again. And if you're not a subscriber, not only that young woman, but anybody else who is watching Doctor Who and enjoying it and wants to make sure that we continue to bring it to you, I hope that you'll subscribe by calling us at 1-800-237-1100. We have a goal of $1,300,000 for all of our programs, of course, not just for Doctor Who. This is the money we use to bring all of our viewers all of our programs, and I'm sure many of you watch a lot of other programs as well. We have a lot of Doctor Who viewers who watch Nova on a regular basis, for example, and that makes sense. Others who watch Masterpiece Theater or Made in Chicago. Made in Chicago, by the way, is coming up next here on 11. It's Night Clubbing 2, and if you feel like staying up to watch some good jazz and hear some good jazz, it's a Channel 11 production paid for by our subscribers. Stay tuned for that, and don't forget our toll-free number, always there for the remaining 2 weeks. 1-800-237-1100. We're looking for your call.